This is the Irish Funner, and here is my topic. I'm going to go through some why humans seem to think they're the only creatures on the earth, which is wrong. There are other animals on the earth, I'm sure, as you know, but I don't seem to care much about them. Anyway, so I've gotten a few notes here in my hand, piece of paper here. Yeah, it's based on all the problems I looked up on the internet, were all the worst problems in the world, and I got some of the results here. So number one, lack of education. Lack of education. Animals can't be educated, so they must be talking about us. Oh, Jesus. Oh, well, that's one for humans, none for animals. So, humans 1, animals 0. Okay, so safety, security, and well-being. I assume that's just about humans again, so that's 2-0. Government accountability and transparency. Well, animals don't really have governments, so, that's 3-0 3 to humans, 0 to animals. Poverty, assume that's for humans again, that's 4-0. Religious conflict, I'm not sure how religious animals are, humans, some are. So we all have some sort of beliefs, and anyway, so it's 5-0 to humans. Lack of economic opportunity and unemployment. Well, I think that's humans again, so that's 6-0. Food and water security. Alright, well, maybe that's about animals, but I'm sure it's about humans. Lack of freedom and political stability. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. I almost lost count. 8-0 to humans. Large-scale conflicts and wars caused by humans. I assume that's mainly about humans, not about their animals. Climate change and destruction of natural resources. I'll put that as a tie because it affects both. So I'll say that's both get 1. So it's 10 to humans, 1 to animals. So health problems. Ebola survivors live in exile and have chronic health problems. Don't know if animals get Ebola, so I'll say that's was it 12-0, 12-1 to humans. Mental health for trauma survivors, not Ebola violence. Assume that's humans again. So yeah, it's really all about humans. Wealth gap increasing, refugees, blah 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 blah, air pollution, blah 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 blah. Oh, look at this! Just speaking about animals, there's one here. What you doing, dog? What you doing? Yeah, so look, that's an animal. There's not all the living creatures on this earth are humans. It's going a bit mental, so I might put them out. So, okay, the camera's gonna fall. Yeah, that's okay. Come on. Come on. So I have to put the dog out. He was interrupting me again. I let that happen before, but anyway, so my point here is humans seem to only care really about themselves. I mean, I think sometimes if you stop being so self-centered, just try to think about others for a change, it makes your life seem so much easier. You might be feeling guilt about yourself for, say, I don't know, being unemployed, not doing much with your life, but when you think about it, you're only one in 7.5 billion humans. You're only one out of I don't know how many living creatures on this planet. Then you realize that your life really has very little significance in the greater scale of things. So it kind of takes the pressure off a little bit. It makes you feel less guilty. It just makes you feel like another person out there. But animals are important too. This is why I advise you to go vegan, because I think it's not, human beings are meant to be herbivores. I've read that before. We have a very large small intestine. It's 9 times our body length. For carnivores and omnivores, only 3 times the body length. So that means they can digest it quicker. So what we do, we get all these things like heart disease, cancer, diabetes. They say that but for carnivores and omnivores, those don't exist because they're supposed to eat meat. It's good for them. It's not good for us. They say a lot of this meat, it takes weeks to digest, and it's just stuck in our stomach for ages. And I was watching a movie there called Beverly Hills Cops, released in 1984. So this was years ago. They even knew about it back then. There was some overweight, fat, old-ish cop in a car. He was sitting down. Beside him, there was a younger, fitter-looking cop. He was just reading through some book or some flyer or something, and he said, over here it says that by the time the American dies, they have 4 pounds of undigested red meat in their stomach or something like that. So yes, just stays in us for ages. You know, even if you're vegan a few weeks, it could still be there, even a couple of months. I don't know. I've actually heard cases where it's been stuck in there for 7 months. So yeah, it's not really in our instincts, is it? Look at this. Do you see those? They're not that sharp canines. They're not good for ripping through flesh. If you look at the dogs, just look at any dogs, and their canines a lot longer, a lot sharper. Good for tearing through flesh. So and it's also hypocritical to say you love animals when you eat them. I mean, I didn't realize this for a while. I saw a YouTube video based on how some deer was murdered in a park, and the YouTuber himself said that the people who are putting sympathetic comments like, "Oh, a sick, twisted person would do this," or threatening the person, he said that these people are either vegan activists or hypocrites. That really got me. That was one that just changed my mind. The whole thing. I was like, yeah, they're right. I mean, why is it that we'd be eating other pigs and cows when we wouldn't be eating other dogs and all that? Because that's the thing. People say, "Oh, I've got steak on my plate." Steak. That's it. They don't think of it as having a dead cow on your plate. That's yeah, I've been vegan a couple months now. I'm starting to feel a lot better now, and with my training, running feels a lot easier now. I'm not sure what pace is going on because I'm not using the heart rate monitor, but I feel like I'm doing well. I feel like this season is going to be a good season for me. Cause I feel like so far with this whole change in diet, I feel like I'm really going places, and I'm not getting sick. I haven't been sick in since like the middle of March. I had a cold back then, so now we're into September, so you're talking nearly 6 months without a cold, and that's longer than I've ever gone without a cold before. I've gone 5 months before, but now I'm 5.5 months, and I'm feeling great. I don't feel like I'm going to get sick anytime soon, so really I think you're better off without that stuff, like milk. That I think that really affects up your sinuses and all that. So anyway, back to this. Just remember, humans are one species. Think there's other animals out there. By going vegan, you're saving the planet. You're helping other to prevent world hunger. So you're helping humans as well if you go vegan, because animals use up a lot more land and water than plants. So yeah, this is my video. I suggest you to at least cut down on your meat consumption, or your fish consumption, or your dairy consumption, and see how you feel. Does it make you feel any worse? Does it make you feel better? Just think about that in the long run. Anyway, this is my video for today. Thanks for watching. If you watched this for 8 minutes, God, then you're very patient, and I hope to see you another time.